This is 5 receivers I'm looking to trade for this week, heading into week 8 of the fantasy football season. And the first guy I'm going to look to trade for this week, and his value might have went down a little after a struggling game, and he's on bye, is Will Fuller of the Houston Texans. He's been pretty solid the whole season as Fuller, except that one goose egg he had in week 2. Last week, Green Bay was focused in on him and only held him to 3 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown. But maybe now with the bye week and that bad performance by Fuller, the Fuller owner is looking to get rid of him, especially if he needs players this week. So Will Fuller, he's been solid all year, putting nice number 2 wide receiver numbers up the whole season. He's ranked 40th this year so far. So Will Fuller, if he's on your trade block, go out there and try to trade him. And I don't think you're going to have to pay a premium price for Will Fuller. The second guy I like to buy is CeeDee Lamb of the Dallas Cowboys. He had a horrible ball game last week, but once again, the Cowboys, they're going to be down in a lot of games, and CeeDee Lamb coming off a bad game, obviously, with 0.1 fantasy points. He dropped a few balls. He could have had a huge game. He dropped a touchdown, another slant where there was tons of running room, and a couple other passes. It was just a whole crummy day for that Cowboy offense in a wet, slippery Washington game. So this week he's got Philly. It's primetime ball game. You know, Dallas doesn't want to go out there and get embarrassed again like they did versus Arizona 2 weeks ago on Monday Night Football. So I expect the Cowboy players to have a better game. I said go buy Zeke, and I'm telling you, go out there and buy CeeDee Lamb. His price was high 2 weeks ago, but now it's lowering down. This guy's got top 15 receiver talent in this league. He's going to find ways to get open. He's still a rookie. He's going to adjust. But I'm telling you, Lamb, he could have a couple breakout games coming up with Philly and Pittsburgh on the schedule. You know, Dallas will be trailing in most games. So go out there and buy CeeDee Lamb as the second guy. The third guy I'd like to get buy low this week, in week 8, is Terry McLaurin. We saw him have a nice game versus that Cowboy team, but now he's going on bye. He's got a good schedule coming up after the bye week in week 9 and 10 versus the Giants and Detroit. So Terry McLaurin, he's been pretty solid most of the year, putting up nice number 2 receiver numbers. And if someone's not believing in Washington and just said he had a good game because it was versus Dallas, I don't care, man. You got to go out there and try to get Scary Terry, because he's putting up scary good points as your number 2 receiver in your fantasy football lineup. So like I said with Fuller, the same goes for Terry. If Owen is disgruntled because he's got a bye week and he needs players now, this is the week to go get Scary Terry, because he's going to take off. Like I said, he's got a very easy schedule the next 5 weeks after this. So go out there and get Scary Terry. The fourth guy to go get is Chris Godwin of Tampa Bay. We just learned he's out for week 8 versus the Giants with a fractured index finger. But I think he'll only miss a game or two. And Godwin, when he plays, he's looked good. And last week he had 23 fantasy points, 9 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown. So he'll be out this week. We'll get him back in weeks 9 and 10. He's got New Orleans and Carolina, 2 matchups where he can have a plus day. He's just going to miss this week. They'll give him an extra week off and rest. They're banged up, Bruce Arians said, in the receiving core. That's why they got Antonio Brown also. But Chris Godwin, he's a guy to go out there and get for sure. And I don't think you got to pay a premium price to get Godwin on your team, especially with this new injury popping up. So if you got a decent record and you could survive a week without Godwin, this is a week to go out there and try to trade for the Tampa Bay Buck receiver. And the fifth and final guy, maybe you could get him on a little bit of a discount now, is Stephon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills. Diggs had a quiet game versus a struggling New York Jet defense. He only had 10 points in a PPR league, but he still got the targets. 11 targets, 6 catches, 48 yards. Diggs is putting up low and number 1 receiver, the high 2 numbers the whole season. So Stephon Diggs, he's a good receiver. He's solid. I have him in 3 leagues. I'm not trying to trade him at all. I think this week you could go swoop in and buy him low. The targets are there. seems like he's getting a touchdown each and every week or over 100 yards. Diggs will be fine. It's just one bad game. He got the wind knocked out of him also in that game. So Stephon Diggs, come on, man. I'm going out there, and if I could get him for a little bit of a discount, you go get him, man. So that's 5 wide receivers I want to trade for in Week 8 of the fantasy football season.